Let's go to the Lord in prayer. Lord God, as we approach your word today, we pray that you would bless this time, that you would help us to understand your kingdom through what we read today. Lord, help us to be kingdom seekers. So we just pray this in your most blessed name. Amen. We're going to be looking at John chapter 18 today, verses 33 through 40. Jesus is at the end of his life and facing authorities, and he goes before Pilate. And Pilate then went back inside the palace. He summoned Jesus and asked him, "Are you the king of the Jews?" "Is that your own idea?" Jesus asked, or did others talk to you about me?" "Am I a Jew?" Pilate replied. "Your own people and chief priests handed you over to me. What is it you have done?" And Jesus said, "My kingdom is not of this world. If it were, my servants would fight to prevent my arrest by the Jewish leaders. But now my kingdom is from another place." "You are a king then," said Pilate. Jesus answered, "You say that I am a king. In fact, the reason I was born and came into the world is to testify to the truth. Everyone on the side of truth listens to me." "What is truth?" retorted Pilate. With this, he went out again to the Jews and gathered there and said, "I find no basis for a charge against him. But it is your custom for me to release to you one of the prisoners at the time of the Passover. Do you want me to release the king of the Jews?" They shouted back, "No, not him. Give us Barabbas." Now Barabbas had taken part in an uprising. This is the word of God for the people of God. Thanks be to God. Well, I don't know about you, but I don't know what images come up when you think about the kingdom of God, or what the word kingdom, what kind of images that the word kingdom even brings up. But if you're like the rest of us in humanity, you're probably thinking castles, you're probably thinking of a political structure with military, with policies, and maybe a king and a queen. And for me, for some reason, when I hear the word kingdom, there has to be a dragon. A dragon. You always got to have a dragon. So, you know what? It's easy to get confused when Jesus starts talking about this thing called the kingdom of God. It is easy to ponder what this is. It is easy to understand why Jesus got himself into trouble. He came to rule as king. So why doesn't this king take the authorities down? Where is your army, King Jesus? But that is not the kind of king Jesus was. It is not the kind of kingdom that he was bringing. When we see Jesus in our passage today, he is towards the end of his life. He is up against Pontius Pilate, and Pilate wants to know who Jesus is. It's a great question, really. If we are to be honest, we've all asked that question at one time in our life, or we probably wouldn't be sitting here. Who is Jesus? What is his kingdom? What is the kingdom of God? Where are the dragons? Where is the military? Where is the army? Jesus is before Pilate, and his life is at stake. And Pilate starts asking some questions. He asks Jesus, what has he done? What has he done? And he asks, what is the truth? Truth be known? Again, these are questions that we've all asked, right? Who is Jesus? What has he done? What is truth? What is God's kingdom? Where is it? What does it mean that Jesus is king? Who is Jesus? And Jesus responds with a statement that is even more confusing. Look at this with me today. Verse 36, it says, Jesus said, "My kingdom is not of this world. If it were, my servants would fight to prevent my arrest by the Jewish leaders. But now my kingdom is from another place." Another place. His kingdom is not from this world. It is not from here. Then where is it from? Pilate never asked ask that question, where is your kingdom from? And Jesus never volunteers the answer completely. If God's kingdom is not from here, then it makes sense then that his rules do not necessarily follow our rules. For example, God's kingdom starts off as something very small, we see. In God's kingdom, the first will be last, and the last will be first. The meek will inherit the earth, and the king is born in a stable. And you know what? In his kingdom, there is no dragon. Although there is mention of a beast in the time to come. So the kingdom of God is hard to understand because it does not go along with the things that we live with every day. In our world, a great king would be born in a castle, or at least a great hospital with the best doctors. In our king, in our world, the first would be first. And the meek, the weak, the outcast, well, we label them marginalized, and we tend to forget them. So you can see the contrast, the difference. This kingdom is not of this world. So it doesn't follow our logic. It would be the truth then in this world, that this world, the world that we live in, is in a rebellion with the kingdom that Jesus is talking about. It really is, if you think about it. Through the sin of one man in the garden, sin has entered in with universal consequences. And the result is a disordered world at the grip of the evil one. It is not the world, not the kingdom that God intended. Now, I'm not telling you anything that are my own ideas. I'm not fabricating this morning. I use commentaries and study books to come to this point. But it is true, is it not? Watch the nightly news. Is this the world that God intended? We shake our heads and we say, no. Heck, some of us, if not most of us, when we get out of bed in the morning and face the world, we know that this can't be the world that God meant for us. The kingdom Jesus is talking about is not from this world. So what do we do with this kingdom? Do we forget this kingdom since it seems to be different or illogical? Well, many people do. Do we listen instead to experts like Dr. Phil and Oprah because the kingdom doesn't make sense to us? Many do. Do we listen to our own logic and disbelief? Many of us do. It truly is a battle, and many of us are distracted, and many things that were once thought to be harmful in our world are becoming normalized in our society, and church is losing their voice that it once had. So what do we do? What do we do? Well, you know what? We have been sharing a testimony, a drawing each week in these series of sermons, and this week is no difference. We have one today. And if you think about it, Jesus came and addressed the issue of the kingdom in this distracted world. And what happened? He was crucified. You know, we too, I'm sure that surprised a lot of people. We too have things that happen in our lives that surprise and shock us. Take a look at this.
Kingdom of God to me is simple. Be the best person that I can be every day by being a positive role model for my children, my friends, my co-workers, and myself. I feel this is said easily, and the thought of it, however, not quite. In truth, at the end of the day, the chaos of our daily lives, work and family struggles, our lives are compounded by daily stressors and the images of how we should all fit in with today's society and the challenges those bring. At the end of the day, when I reflect back to how my day played out, I always ask myself, have I lived up to my expectations as a Christian? Have I lived up to God's expectations of me? One verse that brings me to this is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1 through 14. If you faithfully obey the voice of the Lord your God, being commandments that I command you today, the Lord your God will set you high above all nations of the earth. And all these blessings shall come upon you and overtake you, if you obey the voice of your Lord your God. Blessed shall you be in the city, and blessed shall you be in the field. Blessed shall be the fruit of your womb, and the fruit of your ground, and the fruit of your cattle, the increase of your herds, and the young of your flock. Blessed shall be your basket and your kneading bowl. Blessed shall you be when you come in, and blessed shall you be when you go out. The Lord will cause your enemies who rise against you to be defeated. You shall come out against you, and away and flee before you. The Lord will command blessing on you and your barns and all that you undertake, and he will bless you in the land the Lord your God has given you. The Lord will establish you as a people holy to himself, as he has sworn to you, if you keep the commandment of the Lord your God and walk in his ways, and all the people of the earth shall see that you are called by the name of the Lord, and shall be afraid of you. And the Lord will make you abound in prosperity, in the fruit of your womb, and the fruit of your livestock, and the fruit of your ground, within the land that the Lord swore to your fathers to give you. The Lord will open to you his good treasury, the heavens, to give the rain to your land, and the seasons, and all the blessings of work at hand. You shall lend many nations, but you shall not borrow. And the Lord will make you the head and not the tail, and you shall only go up and not down. If you obey the commandments of the Lord your God, which I command you today, being careful to do them, and if you do not turn aside from any of the words that I command you today, to the right hand or to the left, to go after other gods to serve them. Challenges in life are more prevalent for some as they are for others, and I have no expectation to this. As a youth and young adult, I did not have the strongest relationship with my paternal father. Being raised in the Methodist Church as an adolescent, a strong connection with our Lord, one that made me realize that a strong belief in the Lord would carry me further in life than any one person ever can. It is with this respect and love for God in which I have been molded into the friend, husband, father, coach, mentor, leader, and any other worldly title one can accumulate. In the military, I have bear witness to the evils of humankind, acts that would make the best of Christians question God, and in times even wonder if God himself is even present. On the other side of this, I have also witnessed the mercy and love that is surely from God himself. As a husband and father, I found that following the Bible, our life's instruction manual, I try hard to be patient, kind, unselfish, more understanding, and more attentive to family needs and dynamics. 1 Corinthians chapter 13:4 is a great reminder of this. Most recently, I have struggled with a major life-altering event, and that has been the separation and divorce from my spouse. It has been a difficult process, one for which I never would have wanted or wished upon anyone else. I have tried to understand God's purpose and plan, and at times have questioned if he was even present during the beginning. I will admit, I felt as if I had been betrayed by God as well as my spouse. I went through a roller coaster of emotions and feelings. I felt walking away and giving up at times. But the one thing I continued to do was to pray and seek comfort from God and comfort from reading my devotions and Bible. I found through the process of the divorce, I craved more connection with God, and I wanted to surround myself with those who have the same beliefs and moral standards as I do. I prayed God would bring positive people into my life, and slowly those prayers have been answered. I felt my soul begin to heal as the positive influence entered my life by way of counseling. New friendships were formed from church, and old friendships were renewed. I found myself switching roles from husband and father to just father. With this change, I found I have developed into a stronger father for my children, in retrospect, a stronger individual and stronger believer in Christ. Although my most recent challenge in this life is one that unfortunately occurred, I cannot change what has taken place. I still cannot answer why. I do, however, know God has his plan for myself, my children, and my former spouse. It may be many years before these plans are revealed and understood, but God has his plan for us. And if there's one thing I have learned through this challenge, it is patience. And my favorite Bible verse for this reminds me of this. It's Matthew 6:34. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. To answer the question that was asked of me, how is your soul and my perception of the kingdom of God? Well, my soul is continually growing, continually healing, and continually giving. My perception of the kingdom of God is compassion, it's merciful, it's kindness, it's forgiveness, it's love, and it's peace. And above all, it is patience.
You know, Jesus came to tell us what the kingdom is, and we crucified him. That's what we did. He was speaking the truth, and this is what happened. We killed him. The crucifixion of Jesus Christ is the result of speaking and living into the kingdom for Jesus. So could it be that the kingdom shows us sacrifice? The death of Christ shows us that there is love in God's kingdom. That love will get us through. It shows us grace. Undeserved grace. But you know what? It does not stop there. Friday happened. And as Tony Campbell, if you've ever heard of him, says, he's famous for saying, Friday happened, but Sunday is on the way. The crucifixion of Jesus Christ shows us that there is sacrifice, but the sacrifice brings new life. The kingdom is a different place. It is definitely not from this world. And in it, little things can grow to significant changes. In it, we see that the meek are important, and that to live a life of indulgence, those who do that may end up thirsty in the end. And here we find that in the sacrifice of our lives, after the example of Jesus, that we will too find new life. When we really live into the kingdom, when we really recognize the grace of God, this is when we will find freedom ourselves, and we too will shine the resurrection. Could it be that this is the answer of what to do in our broken world? Is to live into the kingdom, live into God's kingdom. You know, it is World Communion Sunday. Churches across the world, across our planet, are sharing together in Holy Communion. You know, World Communion Sunday, if you did not know this, began actually in Pittsburgh, at Shadyside Presbyterian Church. Have anybody been there before? I have. And in 1933, the Reverend Hugh Thompson Kerr and his congregation sought to demonstrate the interconnectedness of the Christian churches regardless of their denominations. Churches such as the Presbyterian Church, the Catholic Church, and the Baptist Church have different approaches to Holy Communion. They have different beliefs when it comes to this sacrament. We here do not believe that the bread and the wine are the actual body and the blood of Christ. How we approach it in our tradition is that Christ is here. We don't know exactly how he shows up in the elements. It's a holy mystery. But we know he's here. Christ shows up in these elements of bread and juice. And we call it Holy Communion. We call it the Great Thanksgiving. We call it the Lord's Supper. We call it the banquet feast or Eucharist, which means thanksgiving or praise in Greek. So I want you to do something today as we share communion this morning, as we share this holy meal. As you come forward, I want you to think about how is it with your soul. We heard in our testimony today that life brings with it challenges. There is such things called divorce. There is loss of jobs. There's loss of loved ones. Life is hard. We talked in our Bible studies this week about suffering. And one of the things that we see in Scripture, if you study it, that suffering is promised. We will suffer. But that suffering produces endurance. And endurance produces hope. You know, we will have things in our life that will make us think, where is God? You know, I know that there are people that are asking me that question. When will this end? Psalm 23 tells us that even though we walk through the valley of the shadow of death, or some translations say the darkest valleys, the darkest times, he is with us, our good shepherd. Jesus is king, but not remotely sitting on a throne in some castle that is protected by a dragon. He is walking with us. So as we come forward this morning for this holy and sacred meal, let us examine, where are we living? Are we living in the kingdom of God? Or are we living in the kingdom of me? And isn't it funny that when we live into this kingdom, we truly do, we will discover who we are. We will discover me. How is it with your soul? Are you placing it into God's hand? Now, I don't know what images the word kingdom brings up, but I am praying as that we look at God's kingdom, it brings up images of hope, it brings up images of love, it brings up images of joy and peace. May we be focused on this, and may we find the kingdom. Amen. Let's pray. Lord God, as we go forward with our days, we pray that we would live into the kingdom that is not from this world, the kingdom that Jesus brings, and that we would discover true salvation.